Welcome to this mind-shifting lesson. If you've ever heard someone's name and lost it a few seconds later, if you study for hours but your mind went blank in the exam, if you walk into a room and think, wait, why did I come here? If your head feels full, but you can't remember the important things, then this video is not just useful for you, it is exactly for you. Today, you're going to discover a clear system that can wake up your brain, sharpen your memory, and help you remember the things that truly matter for a very long time. This is not a 5 quick hacks type of video. This is a complete, deep method to retrain your brain starting from today. And there's another gift. While you listen, you are also improving your English. You'll hear real, simple, powerful English sentences. You'll practice listening, understanding, and you'll pick up new vocabulary naturally. So if you want to pass exams with confidence, remember what you read, speak better English, and train your mind like a high performer. Stay with me till the end. If you use these steps seriously, you will stop forgetting the important things, and you will finally know what it feels like to trust your own mind again. Let's start. Step 1. How memory really works, the real reason you keep forgetting before you learn how to remember almost anything. You must understand why you forget so much. Most people say things like, my memory is terrible. I'm just not smart. My brain doesn't work like other people's. But here's the truth. You don't have a weak brain. You have an untrained one. And the biggest problem? Nobody ever taught you how memory actually works. Let's make it simple. Think of your brain as a library. Every time you learn something, a date, a word, a name, it's like putting a book on a shelf. If you throw the book anywhere, don't put a label on it, never come back to check it, that book will disappear into the mess. That's exactly what happens in your mind. Information enters, but it doesn't stay. Why? Because your brain isn't moving it from short-term memory to long-term memory. Short-term memory is like a small whiteboard. You write something on it, but if you don't save it, it gets wiped away. Long-term memory is like a notebook that you keep for years. Once something is written there clearly, it usually stays. Most people live their whole life using only the whiteboard. They hear a name but never repeat it, read a page but never connect to emotionally, cram for exams but never review properly. So the information never travels into long-term storage and it quietly fades. Imagine you're at a party. You meet someone. He says, "Hi, I'm Daniel." You smile, talk for a few minutes, and then walk away. 3 minutes later, someone asks, "What was his name?" You freeze. Your mind is empty. Why? Your ears heard the sound Daniel, but your brain never did anything special with it. You didn't repeat it. You didn't link it to anything. You didn't picture it. So it simply vanished. Now imagine another version. You meet him again and think, Daniel, like Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter. And he kind of looks like him. You say, "Nice to meet you, Daniel." Later you repeat his name in your head. Daniel is a graphic designer. Daniel with the glasses. Now your brain has focus connected and repeated. You build a stronger path. Next time you see him, you remember, here's the big lesson. Memory is not a special talent. It is a skill. And like any skill, it starts with understanding how it functions. If you keep throwing random information at your brain without understanding how it saves it, you will always feel confused and forgetful. But if you start using the system you are learning now, you'll begin to feel in control for the first time. So remember this before we move on. Your memory is not broken. Your method is. And today, we are going to build a new method together. Step 2. Pay full attention. You can't remember what you never really noticed. Here's a hard truth. Most people don't have a memory problem. They have an attention problem. You cannot remember something your brain never truly saw or heard. You can't recall what you only half listened to what you glanced at while scrolling, what you read while thinking of something else. This step is a foundation. If you don't fix this, none of the other techniques will work properly. Every day, your brain is hit by millions of tiny pieces of information. Colors, faces, messages, headlines, sounds, videos, notifications. If your brain tried to store all of it, you would feel crazy. So it has to choose what to keep and what to delete. How does it choose? By following your attention. If you give something full attention, your brain keeps it. If you don't, it treats it like background noise and throws it away. Imagine this. You get out of a taxi. You're tired, checking your phone, thinking about dinner. You pay and walk away. A few minutes later, you suddenly remember, my bag, my passport, my laptop. I left them in the taxi. You try to remember the car number or even the color, but nothing comes. Why? Because while you were in the car, your brain was not paying real attention. You saw the car but didn't look. You heard the driver but didn't listen. Your brain never marked it as important. Now imagine a different habit. Before stepping out, you pause for 1 second. You look at the plate number and the driver's face. You say to yourself, okay, yellow taxi, plate number AB 9243. Older driver with a blue cap. That 1 second of intentional attention could save you from a disaster. This happens in class, too. You sit in a classroom or watch a YouTube lesson. The teacher says something valuable, but your mind is already on social media, on a song, or on a problem in your life. Later you say, I studied, but I don't remember. Truth. You were present physically, but not mentally. The world today is built to steal your attention. Endless scrolling, notifications, constant multitasking, noise everywhere. But you must remember, you can't save a file you never opened. So, don't blame your memory. First, check your focus. From now on, when you want to remember something important, stop, pause, look carefully, listen fully, repeat out loud, repeat it silently, give it just 5 seconds of real, deep attention. These 5 seconds can decide whether you remember something for life or lose it forever. Attention is the door. If it stays closed, nothing enters. That's why step 2 is the base of all memory mastery. Step 3. Turn words into pictures your brain thinks in images, not in text. Now that you're starting to control your attention, it's time for the next secret. Your brain doesn't naturally remember words. It remembers pictures. Think about it. If I say elephant, do you see the letters YLEPHANT in your mind? Of course not. You see a big animal with a long trunk, huge ears, maybe walking slowly through a forest. That's how your brain stores information, in images, not letters. So if you want to remember anything, a word, a name, a fact, a number, you should turn it into a mental picture. Words are dry. They are flat. Your brain gets bored with them. But images are full of life, color, movement, sound, emotion. Imagine you meet a girl named Rose. If you only think Rose equals name, you'll probably forget it soon. But what if you imagine a bright red rose in her hair, or her holding a bouquet of roses every time she smiles? Now her name becomes a clear picture. Your brain says, interesting, this is fun, I'll keep this. The more strange, funny, or dramatic the image, the stronger the memory. Want to remember the word volcano? Don't just think mountain with fire. Picture a huge birthday cake erupting with hot strawberry sauce like lava, with candles shooting out sparks. Add sound, boom. Add smell, something burning and sweet. It feels silly, right? That's exactly why it works. Memory loves exaggeration. Memory loves emotion. Memory loves movement. Let's try a short list. Milk, keys, phone, book, banana. Don't memorize like a machine. Imagine this. A giant milk bottle is trying to open your front door with your keys. Your phone is ringing loudly inside the bottle. The milk bottle sits on top of a huge book, and a banana is using the book as a slide. Now you're smiling. Now your brain is awake. And because your brain loves scenes and stories, you will recall the list much more easily. This picture thinking is used by memory champions, actors, language learners, speakers who give long talks without notes from now on. Don't just read information. See it, feel it, turn it into something visual and alive in your mind. Names, pictures. New words, pictures. Facts, pictures. When you start doing this, your brain stops leaking and becomes a vault full of bright, unforgettable images. This one step alone can make your memory many times stronger, especially for learning English vocabulary, speeches, or important ideas. Step 4. Use the story technique. Your brain is built for stories, not dry lists. Here's another powerful truth. Your brain does not love boring facts. It loves stories. It loves characters, problems, emotions, actions. That's why this next technique is so strong. If you want to remember many things, wrap them inside a story. Let's say someone tells you, here's a list. Try to remember it. Car, pencil, river, hat, window, cake, dog, guitar, moon, flower. You might get 3 to 4 items, maybe 6 if you try very hard. But after a few minutes, most of it disappears. Why? Because the list is not connected. Each word is alone, floating with no link. Now let's turn the list into a crazy story. Ready? A tiny car is driving on your school desk. Inside the car is a pencil driving like a maniac. The pencil crashes into a river that suddenly appears in your classroom. From the river, a hat floats out and lands on your head. You look through a window and see a giant cake rolling down the street. A dog is chasing the cake, but he's playing guitar. Above them, the moon is wearing sunglasses, and a huge flower is growing out of the moon's nose. Now, if you close your eyes and recall the story scene by scene, you'll remember almost every word in order. Why? Because stories connect things, stories move stories, create feelings, and images. This is why. Children remember fairy tales word by word. You can quote movies years later, but you forget a boring list your teacher gave yesterday. So when you want to remember a to-do list, vocabulary, points for a speech, turn them into a mini story in your head. It doesn't have to make sense. In fact, the more silly and unexpected, the better. Your brain holds on to surprise, not logic. You're not just improving your memory here. You're freeing it. Step 5. Use spaced repetition, because learning one time is not real learning. Now, let's fix one of the biggest lies of school. Reading something once does not mean you truly learned it. Cramming the night before an exam is not real learning. Your brain needs time and review to save things deeply. This is where spaced repetition comes in. Think of writing in wet sand on the beach. You write a word clearly today. Tomorrow, waves and wind slowly erase it. After a few days, it's gone. That's what happens to information you never review. Scientists call this the forgetting curve. To fight it, you use spaced repetition. Learn it once. Review after 1 hour. Review again after 1 day. Then after 2 days. Then after 4 days. Then after 1 week. Then after 2 weeks. Every time you review, your brain says, "Oh, this again. It must be important." And it writes it deeper. After several spaced reviews, the memory becomes strong and long-lasting, like carving in stone, not scratching in sand. Example with English vocabulary. You learn the word gratitude. It means being thankful. Day 1, you read the definition. 1 hour later, you write, "I feel gratitude for my parents." Night, you say it aloud again. Day 2, you try to use in a message, "I want to practice gratitude every morning." Day 4, You write a short paragraph using it. Day 7. You notice the word in a book or video and smile. Day 14. You explain the word to a friend. Now the word is yours. You don't just know it. You own it. Many learners use apps like Anki or Quizlet for spaced repetition. Those tools are great, but you can also do this with Notebook or Simple Calendar. What matters is not the app. What matters is the timing. If you keep asking, I read this, why can't I remember it? Very often the answer is simple. No review, no memory. One-time learning is like watering a plant once and then forgetting about it. Spaced repetition is like giving a little water again and again until it grows strong roots. If you start using this technique regularly, your memory will stop being temporary and fragile. It will become stable, reliable, and ready when you need it. Step 6. Add emotion. Feelings lock memories in place. Now let's talk about something extremely powerful. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the memory. Think about your life. Do you remember what you ate for lunch 9 days ago? Probably not. But you remember. The day you were deeply embarrassed, the moment someone truly hurt you, or a time when someone's words made you feel strong and loved. Why? Because your brain doesn't just save facts. It saves feelings. If you want something to stay in your mind for a long time, you need to connect it to an emotion. You could read one sentence 10 times and forget it tomorrow, but a sentence that touches your heart, makes you laugh, or gives you courage, that sentence will stay with you for years. That's because emotion activates a part of the brain that says, this matters, don't lose this. So each time you learn something, ask yourself, how does this make me feel? Can I link this to my own life? Can I care about this, even a little? Take a history date, April 15th, 1912, the sinking of the Titanic. If you memorize only the numbers, it's just data, easy to forget. But if you read about what happened, hundreds of people in the cold water, musicians playing till the end, parents holding their children, people giving up their seats to save someone else, the date becomes more than numbers. It becomes a story of love, loss, and courage. Now you will never forget it, because now you don't just know it, you feel it. Even with English vocabulary, don't just learn the dictionary meaning. For example, the word betray. Instead of only, it means to be disloyal. You remember a time someone broke your trust, or maybe a time you disappointed someone. Now the word has weight. It lives inside you. Sometimes the topic is boring, and you still have to learn it. In that case, you can even use fake emotion. Make it funny or dramatic in your mind. The brain doesn't care if the emotion is real or invented. It only cares that you feel something. When your lessons feel alive, the memories don't die. Step 7. Teach what you learn. Teaching equals remembering twice. Here's one more secret that very few people use. If you want to remember something for a long time, teach it to someone else. Not next month. Not someday. As soon as you can. The moment you try to explain something, you stop being just a receiver. You become a creator. When you teach, your brain must recall the information, organize it, put it into your own words. That process writes the knowledge much deeper into your memory. Let's say you learn the word procrastinate. It means delaying things you should do. You read it once and think, okay, I get it. But if you walk away and never use it, your brain will likely erase it. Now imagine this instead. You say to your friend, do you know the word procrastinate? It means when we keep delaying tasks we know we need to do, like homework, cleaning our room, or exercising. I always procrastinate doing my laundry. Now the word becomes part of your life. You didn't just understand it. You used it, shared it, explained it. That kind of learning doesn't fade easily. Teaching doesn't mean you must stand in a classroom. You can explain what you learned to a friend or family member. Talk to yourself in the mirror, write a short post. Record a voice note as if you're teaching an invisible student. Make a mini video just for practice. When you turn on teacher mode, your memory goes to a higher level. People who study and then teach often perform far better in exams in real life because they're forced to understand and remember more deeply. Teaching is not something you do after you've mastered everything. Teaching is one of the ways you reach mastery. Step 8. Build a mind palace your brain remembers places better than naked facts. This is one of the most legendary methods in memory history. The mind palace. It was used by ancient thinkers and is still used by modern memory champions today. Your mind is naturally very good at remembering places. Your child at home, your school, your favorite cafe, the path to your friend's house, even after many years, you might still remember. The layout of the rooms, the color of the walls, where the sofa used to be where you like to sit and think. Why? Because your brain is excellent with locations. The mind palace technique uses this power. You choose a place you know well. For example, your home. In your imagination, you walk through it. Front door, hallway, living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, balcony. You see every detail clearly in your mind. Then you take the things you want to remember and you place them as crazy images in different spots. For example, you want to memorize the planets in order. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. You choose your house. At the front door, a thermometer explodes from too much mercury. In the living room, perfume bottles are dancing. That's Venus, the goddess of beauty. In the kitchen, a spinning globe is boiling in a pot. That's Earth. In your bedroom, your bed is covered in red dust. Mars, the red planet. On the sofa, a huge balloon with a big J is bouncing. Jupiter, the biggest planet. On the stairs, shiny rings are wrapped around the railing. Saturn. On the balcony, a block of ice is shivering. Uranus, a cold planet. At the gate, waves of water crash like an ocean. Neptune, god of the sea. Now, when you close your eyes and mentally walk through your home, you see every scene and recall each planet in order. You're using a place your brain already knows strange. Emotional pictures of fixed path. This makes memories much easier to keep and retrieve. You can use a mind palace to remember. Speeches, vocabulary, facts, lists, numbers, even daily plans. At first, it may feel a bit difficult. That's okay. Just like any skill, the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. With time, your brain stops being a messy storage room and becomes an organized palace where everything important has its own place. Step 9. Review before sleep. Nighttime is when your brain decides what to keep. Here's something school never told you. What you do in the last few minutes before sleep can change what your brain keeps forever. When you sleep, your brain is not simply off. It is busy, cleaning, sorting, and storing the information from the day. It's like a librarian working at night, deciding which books go on the main shelves and which ones are thrown away. And what tells your brain, keep this, it's important? Repetition, emotion, and timing. So if you quickly review something right before you sleep, you are sending a clear message. This matters to me. Please store it. Imagine 2 nights. Night 1. In the afternoon, you study 10 English words. Later that night, instead of looking at them again, you scroll through random videos and memes. Your brain thinks, oh, I guess all this entertainment is important. Let's save that. The words you studied quietly fade. Night 2, you study the same 10 words. Just before sleeping, you take 5 minutes. You read them again, say them aloud, make a sentence with each, and feel proud of your effort. Now your brain says, okay, he really cares about this. Let's move this into long-term memory. That tiny night routine can make a huge difference. What can you do before sleep? Put your phone away for a few minutes. Open your notebook or flashcards. Revise the main things you learned that day. Speak them softly. Picture them in your mind. Then sleep peacefully. You don't need an extra hour. Even 5 to 10 focus minutes can be powerful. This simple habit improves memory consolidation, builds discipline, and often helps your sleep quality too. It's a secret weapon that many people ignore, but the best learners use it every night. Step 10. Write things down. Writing is your brain say button. There's a reason you easily forget things you only see or hear, but you rarely forget the things you have written with your own hand. Writing forces your brain to slow down and think clearly. When you write, you organize your thoughts, choose your words carefully, and create a strong connection between your mind and your body. Think of writing as pressing save on your brain. If you don't write it, it often stays floating. If you do write it, it lands and locks. Let's take an English word. Resilience. It means the ability to recover after difficulties. You can read this once and say, okay, I understand, but the next day it might disappear. Now try a different process. You open your notebook and write, word. Resilience meaning ability to bounce back after hard times. Example, after losing her job, her resilience helped her start a new business. Personal note, I want to build more resilience in my own life. This whole process might take just 1 minute, but now the word is connected to context, story, and feeling. Typing is useful and fast, but handwriting is deeper. When you type, your fingers move automatically. When you write by hand, you pay more attention to each letter, each word, each idea. Studies also show students remember better when they write by hand instead of only typing. What should you write? New vocabulary, important facts, powerful quotes, lessons from books and videos, thoughts you never want to lose. Think of your notebook as your personal mind library. Every line you write is like planting a seed in your brain. Even writing just one meaningful sentence a day can change your memory over time. Step 11. Use active recall. Testing yourself builds unshakable memory. Most people read and reread, watch and rewatch, and say, I think I understand. But understanding while the information is in front of you is not the real test. The real test is, can you remember it when the book is closed and the screen is off? If not, the knowledge is not truly yours yet. Active recall is the habit of asking your brain to pull information out instead of just pushing more information in. It's simple. Close the book, close the app, pause the video, and ask yourself, what did I just learn? Try to say it in your own words. Try to write it from memory. Try to explain it to an imaginary friend. This feels a bit uncomfortable at first. You notice the gaps. You realize what you forgot. But this challenge is exactly what makes your memory stronger. It's like going to the gym. Watching someone else lift weights does not make you stronger. Reading and rereading doesn't build much mental muscle. But when you try to recall from your own mind, you are lifting mental weights. Your memory muscle grows. You can use active recall by writing down everything you remember after reading a page, summarizing a video without looking at it again, using flashcards with questions on one side and answers on the back, asking yourself, what were the 3 most important ideas from today? Don't just reread. Retrieve. Rebuild. Recall. It's harder than passive review, but it creates much stronger, longer-lasting memories. Step 12. Protect your mind from overload. A crowded brain can't keep anything clearly finally. There's one more truth most people never think about. Your brain is not supposed to store everything. It's supposed to hold what truly matters. Right now, many people are not forgetting because they are lazy or stupid. They are forgetting because their minds are overflowing. Too many. Notifications, random videos, arguments, news, opinions, jokes, the important things get buried under mountains of noise. You wake up and immediately start scrolling. Before breakfast, you've already watched several short videos, seen dozens of posts. Read multiple messages. By 9 a.m., your mind is already tired. Then you expect it to remember your study material, your tasks, your goals. But your brain is exhausted from useless input. Think of your brain as a small room. If you keep bringing in random objects, soon there's no space to walk or breathe, or imagine a garden. If you never remove weeds, they slowly choke the flowers. That's what mental overload does to your memory. To protect your brain, be more selective. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow? Do I really need to watch this? Do I want this to live in my mind? Helpful habits. Start your morning with a few minutes of quiet without your phone. Do a digital fast for 1 hour a day. No apps, only your thoughts, your notebook or book. Journal in the evening. Write out your worries, ideas, and plans. This clears mental space. Unfollow accounts that only add noise, not value. Remember, not every message needs an answer. Not every video needs your attention. You wouldn't let complete strangers sleep in your bedroom. So don't let random content live freely in your brain. Good memory is not only about learning more. It's also about removing what doesn't matter. When you clear out the junk, your mind can finally focus on what you truly care about. Final recap. Awakening your real memory power. Now you know 12 powerful steps to remember things for a long time. Understand how memory works. Control your attention. Turn words into pictures. Use stories. Practice space repetition. Connect with emotion. Teach what you learn. Build a mind palace. Review. Before sleep, write things down. Use active recall. Protect your mind from overload. These are not small tricks. They are a new way of living, learning, and thinking. But just knowing them is not enough. You must use them. Real memory is not about being a genius. It's about daily choices. Do you give your full attention? Do you visualize? Do you write things down? Do you review? Do you limit the noise in your mind? Do you teach others what you learn? If your answer becomes yes more and more often, then you are not just someone with a good memory. You are someone who remembers what truly matters. And one more thing, this video has not only trained your memory, it has also trained your English. Every sentence you understood, every idea you followed, has improved your listening, your vocabulary, and your thinking in English. So if you enjoyed this journey, if you want more content that builds your mind, your memory, and your English together, then make sure you subscribe and stay with us. Because here, we don't just learn English. We learn to become stronger, clearer, and more focused. In language and in life, your mind is ready. Now it's time to make it unforgettable.